Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of Eye on Port. It's brought to you by Star Assurance, UT Logistics, the Royal Bank, and Ghana Community Network Services. This week we are focusing on agriculture and agricultural products because we are also focusing on facilities within the port of Ghana that can facilitate the agro trade in this country. The American government is already in this country and also touring the port, assessing some of the facilities we have available in the port of Ghana that can enhance agro trade between the United States of America and Ghana.
The Deputy Secretary of the United States Department of Agriculture, Krista Harden, has commended management of Ghana's Ports and Harbors Authority for the hygienic conditions under which agricultural products are handled in the port. Interacting with management of the Port Authority, the Deputy Secretary of the United States Department of Agriculture said the U.S. is serious about engaging in agricultural business with Ghana due to the enormous opportunities it has to offer.
It's very important to see your infrastructure, to see how you handle things, and for us to learn from you, for you to also know that we're very serious about this relationship and potential for it to grow. It's very important, I think, for our producers, our farmers and ranchers, and processors and makers of other goods to see Ghana is a great opportunity for us. You have a lot of good things going on here. We want that relationship to go, and we recognize that you want to send products to us, and we think that's good as well.
The Director General of Ghana's Port Authority, Richard Anamu, explained that adequate infrastructure has been built to grow the agro business in the port. He cited a new fully completed refrigerated container terminal, which will help the port to accommodate a lot of containers meant to store frozen product in the port, and also a well-paved and dedicated transit yard, which accommodates transit trade. The Director General, Richard Anamu, also revealed that as part of expanding the port, the authority is engaging a local company, Super Maritime, to construct a full terminal to solely handle agricultural products in the Tema Harbour to facilitate the import and export of agricultural products.
We're also giving a concession to a private institution, to create an export terminal inside the port for agricultural products, and they will be starting that construction hopefully within the next 2 months, where they will create a terminal facility inside the port for export goods, agricultural produce, basically. And they are prepared to invest hinterland, for pineapples, mangoes, and all the agricultural produce for export.
The USDA's Deputy Secretary led the delegation to key facilities in the Tema port, including the food terminal, and also observed loading and unloading of food items onto and out of vessels at the port. Krista Harden also commended the sophisticated equipment available at the Tema port to handle agro products. Meanwhile, representatives from 26 agricultural businesses who visited Ghana with the Deputy Secretary of the United States Department of Agriculture have been briefed by the Director of Tema Port, Jacob Adoko, on developmental plans in the area of agricultural trade in the port.
For all the products which are going to be containerized, they are containerized on the farm and driven directly into the port, and then put under our plug-in units at the reefer terminal. But for the products which are coming break bulk, they drive them straight from the farm onto the quay and then straight into the vessel. So the transit time is very, very reduced.
The delegation, who are interested in specific areas of agri trade between Ghana and the U.S., were optimistic of future partnership with Ghana after touring the port. The USDA is exploring opportunities to grow agricultural business between the U.S. and Ghana.
Also, Ghana has a lot of potential growing pawpaw, growing oranges, mangoes, pineapples here and there. And we also have the facilities, as you might have seen in that particular piece. The American delegation were very, very satisfied with the conditions under which this country is handling the trade in terms of fruit, in terms of agro business and all of that. And so they expressed a lot of satisfaction. However, they have also met a lot of other agricultural delegation from the entire sub-region at the Mervyn Peak Hotel, also followed by a forum and a number of discussions. The American government says they're going to invest about $56 million into the poultry industry. All of that coming up in that piece.
Meanwhile, the United States Department of Agriculture's Deputy Secretary has also announced that the U.S. will invest over $56 million in the Ghanaian poultry industry to help revive the struggling sector. The investment, which falls under the project codenamed Food for Progress, is intended to enhance the value chain of poultry production and processing and promote use of improved and quality poultry feeds and concentrates.
Talking about $56+ million that the USDA will be investing in working in partnership with folks here represented at the table, with the American Soybean Association, with ACDI VOCA, to help farmers and producers here in Ghana enhance their value chain for poultry.
Launching the project at a forum well attended by agricultural experts from the sub-region, the Deputy Secretary of the USDA, Krista Harden, hinted the project will train Ghanaian poultry producers, improve feed milling practices and product, enhance the storage and management of feedstuff, as well as promote egg consumption, among other things.
So it's not just about producing chickens. It is about the entire chain. It's things like processing, refrigeration, getting products to the market. It's adding value for producers and our farm families. So it's something that we're very proud of. It's bringing folks together to help each other. It's helping farmers help themselves and the entire chain.
The Minister of Food and Agriculture, Fifi Kwete, said the initiative would complement the government's effort to revamp the poultry industry, which is struggling.
The whole poultry industry as an industry that is very much integrated with cropping, because the feed that is needed for poultry comes from the crop, and that's why the production of soy, production of maize becomes integrated to the whole sustainability and profitability of the poultry value chain. It is in this direction that this particular program becomes so important.
The Deputy Trade Minister and other speakers at the forum highlighted Ghana's potential to lead the agricultural business in the sub-region.
You have a huge percentage of your population who are engaged in agriculture, yet you find it difficult to feed yourself. You find it difficult to provide the food that the people need, but you tend to always import those foods. In this country, and from the Ministry of Trade, we do know that we spend several hundreds of millions of dollars in importation of basic food items, rice. The question then is, if we want to grow our economies, how do we come over that? Must we also begin putting measures in place to ensure that we produce enough to feed ourselves?
The 5-year multifaceted project is also expected to benefit soya beans and maize growers, as demand for the two cereals is expected to increase by the end of the program. The forum was followed by a thought-provoking panel discussion on improving domestic and international agricultural trade.
In spite of the fact that we have challenges of maritime security in the sub-region, in Ghana, with the help of the AIS system and with the help of modern crafts that we have imported, I'm talking about security patrol boats, and with active collaboration with other security agencies, our waters are safe haven for vessels that come to transact business in the sub-region.
For us, drop in our customer base, that sometimes happens with changes in regulation. So for now, we have changes that recently have to do with poultry imports, for instance. Customers have to get permits to be able to import poultry. You need quotas. And that, for us, from the shipping line point of view, it would be that, okay, a customer might have been importing this volume of cargo in the past, and because of the changes in regulation, he's not able to import that same volume.
Also, the facilities are available, the potential is there, and the people are ready. So what next? I sat down with the Deputy Secretary of the United States Department of Agriculture to ask her what actually motivated America to come over at this particular time, and what next for the future of agro-business between Ghana and the USA.
What actually motivated this visit?
It's a trade mission. I think our folks in the U.S., agriculture interest, are very interested in increased trade with Ghana in particular, but also in the region. So we do a couple trade missions a year. The U.S. sponsors, USDA sponsors a couple a year, and Ghana has been one that we've been wanting to do, and I was very happy to be able to lead it myself. It's the biggest we've had in Africa.
I see.
So we're very excited about that. I think it's a total of maybe 25, 28 companies are here. Also, some of the state departments of agriculture, representatives from those offices. So there's a lot of interest and excitement about doing trade.
And you've been to a couple of places since you came in. You reckon that your mission's been accomplished?
I think it's going to be. I think the work is just beginning. I think there's great opportunity here, and we're seeing that firsthand. Seeing the port was very impressive. That's the port of entry. So you have to know how things are handled. You need to look at the facilities, the equipment, the refrigeration capability, the labor issues. We were all very impressed by the port, by the people working there. We got out and walked around, looked at some of the stuffs and goods coming in. There were no U.S. products coming in, so I need to work on that a little bit.
I noticed that you were asking about the sugar.
I was, yes.
And you thought it was coming from the USA, but apparently it wasn't.
Well, it was in Portuguese, so I immediately knew that it was not U.S. It was coming from Brazil, and that's okay. They're a good competitor.
And that would probably lead me to my next question. It appears that we've gone down a bit as far as trade between these two countries are concerned. Previously, I reckon we were about over 150 million US dollars or so, and now it's about 75,000, dropped way beyond 50%. What accounted for this?
I don't know, but that's one reason we're here, is to change those numbers again. We do believe there's great opportunity here in the region, and we think your port is a good place. That's why we were excited to go there. I think we're here to increase the trade and relationship. A lot of excitement, a lot of energy around the folks that we have brought. They're having one-on-one discussions this afternoon with potential partners here in country or here in the region. So I think we're going to change those numbers. I'm very excited about the potential.
Good. And are there specific areas you want to see a lot of growth and partnership going into the future? Because I recall that in the past you had the African Growth and Opportunities Act. You were looking at textiles. You were looking at a number of other things. Do you have specific areas you want to see relationship grow?
Well, there's a wide variety of companies who came with us. There are also some commodity groups. The poultry industry is also interested. Pork producers have been talking about the possibilities, but also equipment manufacturers are here. Processed food products are here. So I think, really from the whole gambit, actually, of available products that we have, high quality, consistent products. Your consumers are interested in them, so we want to make sure that we can provide them.
And you visited the fruit terminal in the port. Your assessment, first of all, and is that an area you want to going into the future you would want to be looking at?
Well, it was impressive, but refrigeration is a key issue for a lot of products coming from the U.S. They're kind of a long way, across the ocean, so we need to make sure you have the capacity for that. We saw a very large warehouses with refrigeration, so we are also excited about the potential expansion of the port. So there were other issues that we talked as well.
What are some of the areas that you would want to see us as a country, definitely would want to improve so that we're able to boost trade between the two countries? What are the areas as you live here you recommend that you hope to see a lot more improvement to boost trade between the two countries?
Well, trade is two-way, and I'm glad you mentioned that. And we understand that. We also want to have a strong economy here in Ghana that's producing products that we want. I saw a small processing facility yesterday, had wonderful fruits, very exotic fruits, things that we don't really grow, like mangoes and papaya and coconut.
We have all of them here.
You do, and they're delicious. So it would be very exciting to get more of those in our country. There are other products as well. So having an increased value chain, making sure there's good phytosanitary requirements in place that meet our requirements. Just having good discussion, open discussion about what both countries need. That's why we come, to sit down, build trust, build relationships.
Okay, so let's move away from the U.S. and Ghana partnership as far as agro-business is concerned, but we stay with agro-business still, because big rice importers in this country are complaining bitterly about the small rice importers. They say they are importing rice illegally through the borders of this country.
Importers who legitimately import rice into the country through the ports have expressed worry over the illegal importation of rice by some importers. They lament that not only is the country losing revenue through such illegal importation, but also the health of Ghanaians are being compromised as their illegally imported rice are unwholesome.
The Ghanaian importers who bring their rices through Tema Port, immediately after the vessel arrives in Ghana port, you have this planned quarantine division that goes into the vessel to inspect the rice as against pesticide and other things. Two, we have the FDA that goes into the vessel to also make sure that what the importer is bringing is good, is correct for consumption. It's not unwholesome rice. Those who are bringing rice from these neighboring countries that does not come through the legal means, that is Tema Port or Takoradi Port, are also invading tax. And because government continue imposing taxes on rice importations.
Executive Director of Importers and Exporters Association charged relevant ministries to immediately arrest the situation, particularly as we approach the Yuletide, where the demand for rice is expected to rise.
The Minister of Trade is supposed to come back with the special task force that ought to have gone to the market. If you go to the Asante region, as we speak with you now, it is flooded with these illegal rice importers. If you go to the Trade Noro region, you will see this illegal rice all over there.
So has this come to the notice of the Ministry of Trade, and what are they actually doing about this?
They each petitioned, the small rice importers petitioned, that is those who bring them from Ivory Coast, and then the big rice importers who bring them through the ports. The small rice importers, when they petitioned, they claimed that the big rice importers were actually evading tax. They were not paying tax in a whole lot of. The big rice importers also, in their petition, they said that the small rice importers were evading tax. They were not paying due taxes. They were smuggling goods in. They also raised questions about the healthy nature of the kind of rice that they were bringing in. So what I did was that I constituted a tax team. The ministry provided the resources for them to go to Ivory Coast and buy the rice, pay the appropriate prices, and pay the required taxes, and bring the rice in. When they indeed did that, we realized that, to be very honest, the small rice importers didn't have a case. When we did the work, and Kofi Kapito can tell you, it is extremely shocking that if you are not evading taxes, you cannot be selling the rice at that price. If you are not evading taxes, you cannot be selling the rice at that price. And I think that the rice that are brought into this country through the ports certainly would have to go through a lot of scrutiny. And then you can ascertain whether the rice is wholesome or it is not wholesome. But the rice that are brought inland, we have no idea to ascertain whether the rice is wholesome or is not wholesome. I think it's a very thorny issue, because once you bring in, you are evading tax, and evasion of tax is a crime. I think that we need to begin prosecuting people who bring in rice through the land without paying the required taxes.
Iron Port returns shortly after the break.
Sing about there ain't no limitations to your amazing grace, your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you. There's a place in my heart that makes me feel that you're the one. It's a place I wanna be, 'cause satisfaction guaranteed. From strength to strength you help me grow, 'cause you're there for me. And teach me how to be independent, 'cause you
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
Banking with transparency, commitment to integrity.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. Real banking, real difference.
UT Logistics have come to stay. When you approach a job like the way we approach it, each job is unique. Each client is unique. We provide the best service in the system. We have best staff. We are very fast. We are quick, and we save customers a lot of money.
Welcome back. Let's now take a look at some news and activities happening in and around the port industry.
The Ghana Community Network Services, GCNet, has donated medical items worth over $10,000 to the Plastic Surgery and Burn Center of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. The items included a shower head, patient's trolley, bandages, silicone gel, and specialized dressing. Presenting the items, the External Relations Coordinator of GCNet, Ama Amwa, said the gesture, which formed part of GCNet's corporate social responsibilities, was necessitated by the June 3rd disaster that struck the country and the need assessment that was carried out by the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital.
The doctor has gone through the needs and the benefits that they will be to them. And we are also very happy to be able to do this, and we believe this is just the beginning, and we'll have many other opportunities to come in support of the units. We present these items today worth a little above $10,000, and we are looking forward to be able to do more. And we know that this relationship is just the beginning, as I said, and will be strengthened with time.
She pledged GCNet's commitment to the burn center of the hospital in addition to the annual support it gives to the cardiothoracic center.
Currently, we've adopted the cardiothoracic center, to which we donate to every year. And we're looking at probably building that kind of relationship with the burns unit, where we'd also have that annual commitment.
Dr. Opoku Wariampoma, the Director of National Reconstructive Plastic Surgery and Burn Center at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, thanked GCNet for the gesture and stressed that the items will go a long way to reduce the pressure on the hospital.
These go to help some of our patients because our healthcare financing system is not the best that it could be. A patient who comes in with severe burns typically will spend between 30,000 to 40,000 cedis on their treatment before they leave hospital. Now the insurance system will only give them about 1,000 cedis. So you see that already there's a big financing gap that has to be met, and it is donations like this that help us to be able to meet this gap.
Ghana Community Network Services Limited, GCNet, is an information and communication technology public-private partnership with a mandate to provide e-solutions to government.
Over the last weekend, there was some good news for the Port Authority. The Public Relations Department of the Port Authority was ranked the best among all public sector public relations department by the Institute of Public Relations. The Tema Port Integrity Campaign was also ranked the best campaign project by any other institution in this country, and they even went ahead of the banks, also the telcos and all of that, and it happened over the weekend. Please take a listen.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, was the only organization to win a double at this year's Institute of Public Relations Awards. GPHA won the overall PR campaign of the year with its integrity campaign, and also won PR Organization of the Year Public Sector category at a ceremony in Accra.
The campaign had smart objectives which had measurable targets and adopted strategies and tactics, leading to desirable outputs and outcomes that satisfied the aspirations of the organization and impacted positively on the otherwise tarnished organizational reputation and increased business and profitability. The winner of the PR campaign of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we put our hands together for the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority?
The awards come few months after Ghana's ports were named the best performing ports at the maiden edition of the African Ports Awards held in the Ivorian city of Abidjan. The citation said GPH's stakeholder engagement had been exemplary in building a positive image for the company, which continued to grow in reputation. The MD of Stanbic Bank charged CEOs of organizations to take responsibility of whatever PR communication that emanates from staff in order to avert an irresponsible PR.
If you have a PR construct where individuals are not responsible for what they communicate, what truth they want to show to the world, then you are going to have irresponsible PR.
Reverend Dr. Joyce Ayi, former CEO of Ghana Chamber of Commerce, who was named the 2014 Public Relations Personality of the Year, said PR is a mission, not a job, hence the need for practitioners to use communication to make lives better.
It is time for IPR to do a cleansing of this profession. But I think perhaps what we need to do is to really let people know that doing PR is not a job, it's a mission.
The Marketing and Public Relations Manager of GPHA, Paul Asariansan, said GPHA will improve its performance and also offer best services to customers.
The support that we had from the Directors of Ports, from the Director General, has brought us this far, and we are going to be motivated to do even better than we have done. Next year we are going to win more awards by the improvement of performance we are going to put up.
We're going to be bringing you the extended version of that particular program in the coming edition of Eye on Port, because it's important to find out what public relations can do to organizations, particularly those as big and important as the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the heartbeat of the country, and also what PR can do to build countries. We'll be finding out more in subsequent editions of Eye on Port.
I sing about. There ain't no limitations to your amazing grace, your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
Banking with transparency, commitment to integrity. The Royal Bank, the Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank, real banking, real difference.
We've all heard stories about ports, about difficulties and challenges at the port. We think that to bring transparency to the port is very important for both the end consumers and even the people, some of the agents who work within the port. This program is very, very critical, and I think everybody who is involved in the port, in businesses that has impact on the port one way or the other, should make it a point to view it.
Well, schedules of vessels sitting in the port, those coming from Anchorage, and those expected for the week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate next. We have been encouraging all of you to continue to send us comments and queries about your concerns when it comes to dealing with the port. And a lot of you have been sending us comments, some of them very, very scary. We got one from the New York City. All the way from New York City, somebody came reporting of his missing Audi Q7, very luxurious car. But where is it? Listen to his concern.
That was the first message he gave my wife, that even though your husband's story is a sad one, that he needs to get his car right away, but as you can see, my hands are tied and the situation is beyond my control, because the order came from above for him to give my Audi Q7 to somebody who deserves it than myself. They said that particular one, in as much as we have the money to pay for the cars, they also, as the custom officers, have the government interest to protect. And my wife was holding the money in her hand, crying.
We will be getting answers from the Commissioner of Customs. Where at all is this Audi Q7? Who is sitting in somebody's car that he or she doesn't rightly deserve? We'll be finding out more. If you also have any questions, comments and queries, please send them to us via the addresses you see down there. The Nation of Iron Port, we should be bringing you details of all those issues, particularly on the missing Audi Q7 and also the role of public relations in building organizations like this and also building country. Thank you for watching. Thanks to my crew, Joe Lavo, Solomon Nanderson, Isaac Bosu, Grace Atre, and Paul Asariansan, the executive producer.